Welcome back, family, to another analysis of social walking in wisdom. And this particular platform was inspired by the wisdom coming from the incomparable Sonia Uche. Oh, some may say Queen Soso herself, very inspiring, both her movies as well as the messages that she transmit for her followers, her supporters, as well as, of course, her audience members. And it's always a great thing when someone is leading and understand the importance of transmitting positive messages, blessings, and information of support, understanding that as an influencer, you do have an opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. And the entire Uche Nancy family certainly has done that, starting with the eldest, Sonia Uche herself. And thus, as a leadership coach, the goal behind this, as also an avid Nollywood viewer and audience member, I truly enjoy the movies, the plots, the twists, the content, and for me, most important is the faith-based messages about character building, which is so important. And that aligns directly with myself as a leadership coach, where we're all called to lead our feet towards righteousness and not mischief, and allow our lips to for edifying, to build up and not to break down. We are not called to weaponize each other. And this is specifically when it comes to, of course, Daughters of Zion women, where we have a tendency to sometimes downplay someone's achievements and really become frenemies. And with a frenemy, there's really no win-win when you consider or when you classify or when you decide to band with the wicked and become frenemies with someone indeed. So in this platform, along with the entire Nollywood diaspora who loves the different busy beavers in Nollywood, those are the actors and actresses and the producers and directors and videographers, the entire staff, they're busy making powerful content with very deep messages where the characters indeed have a lot of breadth and depth to them that is worthy for an analysis as someone like myself as a leadership coach. Sometimes I would share a movie with my client, giving them an opportunity just to rest their mind. But sometimes a movie paints a picture that's even more powerful than words coming from a professional like myself. So on this platform, I've decided, let's break down. What I love doing is watching Nollywood movies when I can, and it might be once a day or every other day, and share with the audience my thoughts as a professional leadership coach, as a woman of faith. So these videos would include at times biblical scriptures that I believe directly relate either what comes off the top of my head or something I planned in advance. And today's no different as we consider this new platform. Before you is like a word cloud, looking at words that's edifying, including kindness, attitude, personality, gratitude, and your gratitude will dictate your altitude, right? If you're busy hating and doing hater nation, that's going to be your downfall. So always be in a space of being grateful for where you are. And as Queen Soso said herself, be contented with where you are. It doesn't mean you don't have goals. It just means that you're grateful for your present stance and you're not in a spirit of tearing someone else's achievement. So today we're going to look at another video, and it's coming from the likes of Uchenna Ubano, and we're going to analyze this beautiful movie, Accidentally Us, by no other than the handsome Clinton Joshua and Amoche Oko and Sandra Ossie. What a very beautiful cast, and of course by the incomparable Uchenna Ubano, who has, based on another content creator, he was #1 in terms of having the most videos viewed. And yeah, kudos to him. His production company certainly championed a lot of other actresses, and he's certainly been the elder in the Nollywood industry, providing assistance to other actors and actresses who desire to be producers as well. And that's the gift that I always keep on giving, family. When you have a giving spirit and a heart, and that of gratitude, and you're able to help others, you will be paid back bountifully. And this is evident by the generosity by Sir Uchenna Bano. And for that, we thank you. We're going to come back to this actual movie in a few seconds. I would be remiss if I don't say happy birthday, I believe, to little Princess Ubibe Obuyo, looking so beautiful with her new hairdo with Mama Uche Nancy. And here we can see is a happy birthday message to her. So I'm thinking she's celebrating, and this is a current message. So if it is, indeed, happy birthday to Obibe Obuyo, very talented actress. I first saw her in the movie with Sonia Uche when she played a twin that was manifested in the future for Sonia Uchi's character, and it was excellent. And that dynamic duo between Ubube and Sonia Uchi is full of laughs. I love them together. So Mama Uchi Nancy celebrating her daughter indeed. And many of us could be biological, but many of us could just be spiritual as well as just godmothers, helping others get to where they need to go as a guiding light. And she does so with much glee. And it's such a beautiful relationship we're seeing right here. So on behalf of the entire Nollywood diaspora, happy birthday to Bibe Ubio, indeed. Family, I'm also going to ask if you have not subscribed to Sonia Uche, please be sure to do so, whether it's Instagram, whether it is on YouTube. We strongly encourage you to do so. And again, as a new platform content creator, we'll ask you to join us, thumbs up, and certainly subscribe if you're interested in growing, adorning the fruit of the Spirit, according to Galatians 5:22 and 23, and putting on good character and virtues such as love, joy, peace, humility, long-suffering, patience, temperance, the whole 9 yards. It starts with having a good character, and the virtues certainly that comprise fruit of the Spirit is what we are called to walk in, if indeed you're a man and woman of faith. And this is both men and women. So in this channel, we consider the characters, and when we give you a professional and biblical perspective on the characters, and we ask you to do the work. If you don't desire to have bad character, to possess bad character, as a leadership coach, I am saying to you that you can break that bad habit of bad character, of poor character, and you can build and develop better character, because we're all called to walk in fruit of the Spirit indeed. So go ahead and subscribe to this platform, share, fan out, and join us as a global community. Now that we know better, we want to do better. And if we all do better with a man and woman in the mirror, can you imagine our homes? Could you imagine our communities? Could you imagine our nations, our state, our countries, and then the globe? We can all do better by starting with a man and woman in the mirror. And it's about understanding the character that you display for the world and improving upon that indeed. So again, today we're going to look at Accidentally Us, a beautiful movie starring this beautiful young woman, Omeche Okoro. I've been looking at her for the past few weeks in her movies, and certainly one of the young ones to look out for. And of course, we have young, handsome Clinton Joshua, always in great demand. And I guess his mentor is indeed Uchenna Mubano. So good one, Sir Uchenna Mubano. So in this particular movie called Accidentally Us, it really revolves around two family, a widow who is humble but living well, and his virgin daughter, Arimachi, I believe it is, and the upland residents of a wealthy family grappling with the reckless decision and lifestyle of their son, Jason, played by no other than Clinton Joshua. And despite his father's and his mother's earnest pleas to change and to grow up, he really shows little interest in joining the family business or even changing his lifestyle. As a matter of fact, in the movie, he said, maybe around 30, maybe. But for now, it is on and the gloves are off. So on one fateful night, Aramechi, against her strict upbringing, sneaks out to join her best friend, Sandra, played by character Sandra Oisi. So she went out to a party hosted by Jason. And in this particular night, both their fates, both their lives are about to change based on choices they made in terms of disobedience. And I would say in terms of disobedience for both of them, in terms of not listening to their parents. For Jason, for not listening to the pleas of his parents for a very long time. And for Aramichi's, that is Omichi's character, Amachi, her particular character, for that one time, sometimes it takes that 1 second of, I'm going to try something different that can affect our journey called life. And while it may not be totally over, you certainly have to redirect your ways. You're certainly going to have to redirect your GPS in terms of the journey so that you can then accommodate the choices that you have made based on a different decision indeed. So in this particular journey, if you have not already watched the movie, I'm not going to give away the really key components of the stories up to you to watch. But you're going to see how both parents, I would say, display. This is a very good example of how a humble or middle class parent, single dad, he's widowed, and an opulent family full of riches. One may think they're just reckless and they don't care about a common man, but it really showed the standard of both beginnings, and it showed the character of both families in wanting best for their kids, as every parent or parents. And it's about applying wisdom. They both understood the importance of wisdom. They both understood the importance and the role their daughter or their son plays in this greater world. And they wanted to ensure that indeed the son or daughter was prepared. So like every parent, they were head on and they really displayed good character. You're going to see in this movie how it's displayed in two different levels. And they were able to make a unique decision. Again, I'm not going to give it away. I want you to watch the movie. Well worth it. Executed beautifully by all characters indeed. I truly enjoy and thoroughly enjoy every second of this movie. And it's a great magic between Obeche and Clinton Joshua. I'd like to see them act again. So a decision was made, both parents accepted, and the children had no other choice but to comply to that decision. And then they have to live with that decision made by the parents indeed. And as a leadership coach, let's analyze the characters and the appearance a little bit. Where Jason, where he initially embodies irresponsibility, entitlement, and a lack of purpose. He knew he had a trust fund, so he was really living his life recklessly. And he really offered no means of slowing down. At least that was his intent. And as a result, he is in a little pickle, and the pickle that he's in will affect him for the rest of his life. And as a leadership coach, I would say it's important to Proverbs 2:2, incline your ear to wisdom. That's very important. As young adults, one thing this movie have in common that we could all relate to, as we consider viewing this movie, regardless of your age, you'll either get to that age, so it's lessons to be learned. You might have already passed that age and you're considering how this generation consider what you're doing. So you'll have a better, you'll have a new opportunity to understand this generation, right? If you're older, and if you're in this age and this you grappling with certain decisions, it will certainly help you along the way. But understand that every decision that you make has consequences, and you're now responsible and accountable for those consequences. Aramechi's quiet strength and untapped potential. She had a job and she was doing well. And though she obeyed her father, who was widowed, all the time, the last minute decision to listen to a friend, and I wouldn't really say a frenemy in this case, but still misguided by a friend, also altered her life forever. And as a result, she also has to deal with the consequences, and she's accountable based on the decisions she made to fail to obey a parent for that split moment. And then you have Amarichi's father, the guardian of honor, the promise he made to Amarichi's late mom. So it really embodies traditional values and culture, which we should all honor. There's still something to it. It's foundational. And that disappointment that he felt, but still doing everything he can to ensure that the situation can be salvaged or remedied best way possible. And it was all motivated by the love for his daughter. Then you have Jason's parents, right? The wealthy family, kind of disconnected, but not. They had a very good idea in terms of what their son will or will not do. I recall one part of the movie, Jason's father, played by the character played by Clinton Joshua, his father indicated, I know my son will do a lot of things, but he will not do that. To find out what that is, please be sure to look at the movie, and you could place it in the comments section and let me know what you think about the parents knowing, because many wealthy families seem a little bit removed and not seem to know, especially your father being very busy managing the finances of the family. They may not be aware of what their child is capable of saying and doing. And in this case, he did. So that was very impressive indeed. And there was some initial skepticism because he knew his son. Um, at the end of the day, the parents were able to come together and again make the best decision. And I would say it was a win-win situation. As a leadership coach, even as a business strategist, I always propose win-win. If you consider a win-loss either direction, there's a price to pay at some point in time. So always consider a win-win approach and ensure that parties are satisfied. And ultimately, this particular story lends to when a decision is made, the parties involved should have a level of responsibility, accountability, regardless of the age. And if at a particular age, they may not be aware of the best decisions for them, then the elders certainly do. So it's important to leave room, regardless of your age and regardless of, okay, I'm an adult or not, and regardless of your mindset. Understand if you have elders guiding you and they have been entrusted in your care all this time, they know you best, they know you longest. And it's important to at least pay attention to what your elders are saying. And in this complex world that we live in, world of global interdependence, there's so many different scenarios that can play out, and we can be motivated all the way from the East by the Western culture and vice versa. But it's always important to have that traditional foundational value set up that will better prepare you for the life that you're about to face as you move forward. So this movie is really about cultivating character and what it shows you in the weeks and months to come that lead up to its the scenario of the movie. It shows the growth of both characters, primarily the young man played by Clinton Joshua, that is Jason indeed. It's an important reminder that character isn't just about avoiding mistakes, it's about how we respond to them, how we get back up again from that stumble, how we dust ourselves off, and yes, ascend again to greatness in terms of what we were intended to be. So no one is guarantee you no stumbles. That's not possible in life. There are stumbles, there are falls, etc. There are times you have to grasp on to a branch, so ensure that you don't go over the cliff. But there's always an opportunity to respond in a way that will then propel you. And again, it starts with having a level of, I would say, having a level of gratitude that would indeed dictate your altitude, your gratitude, your kindness definitely directs your altitude and gives you a perspective and a good attitude so you can certainly respond in a way that's befitting to you and all that's involved. It's about choices we make when faced with discomfort, with when life gives us lemons, we make lemonade. It's about the courage to seek truth and the willingness to grow even when forced into uncomfortable situations, especially when we make those uncomfortable situations. You can't just say, well, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to throw you some money or give you a little time. You have to resolve that to everyone's satisfaction to create a win-win. And ultimately, improving your character means embracing, again, accountability, being responsible, cultivating empathy for others. It's not all about me, myself, and I, but about everyone involved. In this case, it was the young woman, the young man, the parents, and the future. And in doing so, you'll find out family is all about fostering resilience in the face of adversity. And there is a new show in the West. It says, what would you do when faced with a particular situation? So I ask you, as a young man, a young woman, what would you do? After you look at the movie, put in the comment section, what would you do? And this is for Uchenna Mubano's latest movie, Accidentally Us, by no other Clinton Joshua and Omeche Oko. My apologies if I don't get a name right, but absolutely. Accidentally Us recently aired and is now showing on Uchenna Mubano's movie. And if you have not subscribed, not that he needs help, but yes, you could always add to his subscriptionship because he offers value and content. So this concludes another episode of Social Walking in Wisdom. I pray that you join us next time as we delve into another Nollywood narrative. If you have not yet subscribed to this platform, help us build and help us share your thoughts. I would love to share your thoughts and respond to your comments as well. So be sure to leave your comment. Don't be shy. And if you're interested in a free 30-minute analysis, leave your comment. I'll get back in touch with you. We can connect on WhatsApp because that's international as well. Thank you so much for listening. And again, go out and watch Certainly Accidental Us. And if by chance you have not seen any of Sonia Uche's remarkable stories yet, including Chances, please be sure to go ahead and look at Chances. It's now at 1.6 million. If you have not seen A Hard Place, please be sure to go out and see it. It's now at 1.9 million. And anything related to Sonia Uche, including that of her mom, Uche Nancy. Until we meet again, thank you so much. Take care of yourself and, of course, each other. And as always, shalom.